Well, thanks for joining. We'll be waiting a bit for other participants to join, then we will get started. Okay, so in our today's session, we would be summarizing the points that we made, and then that session is going to be an introduction to the upcoming sessions. So we have finished the part one of our digital storytelling workshop, which means that we have introduced the basics of memoir writing to you, and now you are equipped with tools, elements, and necessary knowledge for drafting, writing, editing, proofreading of your memoirs. And now the part two starts. We are about to start teaching you digital skills that are an inseparable part of any kind of writing today, as we are living in the technology enriched world. So we will be more concentrating on our Wix blogs, and from now on, you will be sharing every memoir that you write on your Wix blogs. All the interaction with us, comments, feedback, everything will be delivered through your Wix blogs, because we really want that by the end of this workshop, you will be able to create a unique memoir blog that you will feel confident enough to share with everyone, with the general public. So welcome to part two, and we are about to start. Now, last time in our previous session, we have talked about the issues that women are facing in our community. We have described some of the stereotypes or boxes that women were supposed to fit into in our community. And you have offered very fruitful insight into the problems that you have faced personally because of being female. And today's session will continue this discussion and will help you throughout the process of writing your upcoming memoir, a women empowerment memoir. So, well, as you can see here, the outline, we are going to discuss memoir writing basics once more so that you will revise them and you will keep them in mind when working on your new memoir project. And also we will introduce digital skills for memoir writing. And then you will be introduced to upcoming topics that we will be writing throughout these 3 months until the end of the project. And I really want to get some insight from you on the selection of topics, because I really want to develop the outline of topics based on your preferences. And then we will be discussing some of your digital blogs. Some of them are just emerging. Some of them are already professionally developed. Some of them have really lots of works, while others are just in the process of starting. But wherever you are, don't stop, keep going. And I'm really sure that by the end of the second part of our project, you will be able to create your digital memoir blog. So, some words of inspiration before we start. Well, as Anna's name says, we write today's life. All of us have our own unique experiences that have shaped us as the person that we are. And sharing those experiences is the very essential way of teaching other people the ways of life. So we have already tasted our bit of life that can be bitter, that can be sweet, that can be full of wonders or sad. So whatever experiences we have tasted, you should make yourself believe that it's worth writing about. So let's get started now writing today's life. Okay, we will briefly review all the memoir elements that we have discussed with you. So memoir is a unique type of creative writing because of its focused theme. So memoirs nothing if they don't have a focused central topic. So that's why theme is everything in memoir writing. Second, there should be a conflict or a problem. Usually memoirs are concentrated around one problem or one conflict or one story, one moment of your life. So conflict and problem introduction is really important. And also we have talked about various writing styles, how to show but not to tell. And then we have talked about voice and how to introduce your voice. We have talked about narrative and its types. And also we have made emphasis on the expression of feelings through memoir, because memoir is not a report, it's not an essay. When someone reads your memoirs, they should really feel themselves in your shoes. They should feel the feelings that you had when you had this experience. And of course, the last part was resolution. At the end of your memoir, there should be a lesson learned. There should be a resolution. And we have talked about each and every element in detail throughout our workshop. And now we are reviewing it so that you would once more briefly revise what you have learned so far. And it's going to be a foundation to continue your work on memoir writing for upcoming topics. Now, there are certain characteristics of a good memoir and then a bad memoir. So, as we have been talking, good memoir shows but doesn't tell. And also, good memoir involves some kind of drama. It has dramatic act, it has points of conflict, suspense. Good memoir makes you think. So when you read a good memoir, you start thinking, analyzing, critically approaching the frames that you already have in your mind and trying to get out of the box. Good memoir makes you feel. So it's not about the let's say, report of events that happen. It's not chronological history book. It's just a piece of your life that others, when they read it, they can taste it as you taste it. They can feel it as you felt. And also good memoir makes you learn. Memoirs usually life lessons that have transformed you. So a good memoir should have a moral or a lesson to learn. Well, in order to write a good memoir, you have to know what makes a memoir bad memoir. Bad memoirs usually tell. They tell the events, they just give you outline of what happened, but they never show you the setting, they never show you the feelings of the character, they never show you what is happening. Bad memoirs usually have essay structure, introduction, body, conclusion. Well, they rarely include flashbacks and other different kind of techniques that make writing more vivid. Well, bad memoirs do not involve feelings. They usually concentrate around reporting rather than expressing feelings. And also bad memoirs have almost no sensual description. It means that when you read, you cannot really get the idea of what the food tasted like, what the air smelled like, or how the character felt, let's say an item against her skin, and etc. And also, bad memoirs usually do not concentrate around one central theme. When you read that bad memoir, you cannot really find what is the main topic the author is writing about. So every time when you analyze a memoir work based on these rough hints, you can decide whether it's a good memoir or a bad memoir. When you have finished the work, before turning it in, you can turn on your inner critic and you can decide on your work whether you did a good job, whether you need further improvement. Okay, now, why do we write memoirs? What is the purpose of memoir writing? There are usually two kinds of purposes behind memoir writing. First is to entertain and share experience. Memoirs are communication tools that can demonstrate the experiences, pain, lessons, transformations that you went through. And the second reason is to get the truth about humanity. So it's about telling the truth, expressing oneself, touching the issues that humanity facing as a whole. So try to make sure that you know what's your purpose. Are you going to share your experience? Are you going to teach something to the audience? Or are you just going to express yourself as a part of humanity? So whatever your purpose is, your memoir should stick to this purpose. Then you will have a very thorough and careful, suspenseful work. So from a writer's point of view, memoirs are based on themes. Themes are the big ideas that run alongside the plot, such as the moral or the story's central message. A good memoir discusses through the plot, setting, and character analysis, then shows how all of this work together and form the overarching theme. So every element that enters your memoir should serve the central theme. So far, it was just a revision of what we have already learned in grammar, punctuation, imagery, style, and language elements were the last things that we have discussed by the end of our first part of this project. Now we are in the second part, digital memoir writing. So our upcoming topics are going to be written and shared via wix.com in a digital format. So why have we decided to do it this way? Well, first of all, let me tell you a background story for this project, how this project emerged and why we are writing memoirs. Well, women empowerment is a critical issue. Ms. Sebunusa, welcome. So women empowerment is a critical issue, especially in developing countries. Empowerment of women, well, has become very critical, especially in our country. Empowered women encourage economic development, and also they add additional growth and stability to any country's economy. Well, according to a study conducted, if the economic participation of women is promoted globally, then, especially in developing countries, it might enhance the world economic growth by $28 trillion by 2005. So in 4 years, women's active involvement in economy can increase the global economy by around $30 trillion, which is a really big number, right? So my personal experiences have proven that women come across significant barriers which deter them from fully and freely contributing to the economic and political development of their countries, especially in our region. Well, today's global world sets the image of a woman as an active and proactive citizen, participant in ongoing democratic changes and in political life of countries. But unfortunately, it's not yet the case in our region. Now, in Uzbekistan, in majority of cases, women are seen as the guardians of family, whose sole purpose is to take care of family members by fulfilling a variety of household chores, which in turn makes women bystanders in terms of political, democratical, economic, and social life of the country. To my mind, one of the areas women are underrepresented is self-expression. Women in my community here in Uzbekistan, as I feel, well, they are handicapped by stereotypes, subordination, and marginalization. This is a critical problem and high priority of development directions in Uzbekistan. But, however, still, there are many things to be done. And this project emerged as a solution to this problem of women's limitations in self-expression. So the objective of this project is to improve women's role and empower them to express themselves by sharing their experiences, critically reflecting on those experiences in the form of writing memoirs. So I'm really sure that giving voice to women will empower them to tell their stories, to think critically, and to make them one step closer to attain gender equality and advancement. These are the actual, let's say, proposals from this project. So this is the main goal of the project. As we are facing the part 2, as we are getting closer to our final goal, I really wanted you to be sure of our main goals and objectives so that you would understand why we are writing memoirs and why we are trying to empower you with the means of memoirs. Now, actually, empowerment of women starts with their own critical realization of their social economic status. You can never help someone who does not see any problem in their situation, right? So the goal of our memoir writing club is to make women see that there are problems around and they require immediate solution. Now, well, usually problems arise when women face economic and social inequality, burdened and silenced by social expectations. Well, even then, not everyone, not every woman has the power to speak up or make change happen. Well, when we analyze many stories of unreported rape, domestic abuse, educational disparities, and underrepresentation in our country, we usually make sure that women never report about those issues because of social consequences. So the main goal of this Women's Memoir Writing Club is to create a safe place where women of different ages and a variety of life experiences can write memories, blogs, and empower themselves by self-expression. So writing is a really powerful tool of self-expression. And also, if digital skills are added to writing, as you know, digital skills are now the most advanced type of skills that are required from any kind of professional. So when digital skills and writing skills are incorporated, well, stories that are silenced by stereotypes emerge. And you can see that it can make lots of progress towards the development of our country in terms of economy, in terms of democracy, and of course, in terms of social life. So that's why the main goal of this memoir writing is stated above. That's to make you share your experiences. If you are an empowered woman, your experiences will help other women to empower themselves. If you are a woman who is searching for a safe place to express themselves, then you have come to the right place. Now we start writing digitally. We start writing and sharing it in a digital blog format so that it can later be shared by general public and so that your experiences will be made available lessons to others. Now, so far we have mostly concentrated around the technical issues and let's say techniques of writing. I really hope that throughout the past 3 months we have given you at least some understanding of why to write memoirs, how to write memoirs, and how to include all those details that make a memoir a good memoir. Now you are equipped with knowledge and skills that are necessary to start writing a memoir. You have already practiced many memoirs and some of you have turned in very quality works. But now we will start writing, let's say, more abundantly. You will have lots of topics, different writing styles to experience with. So now it's going to be mostly your turn. You will be turning in works, we will be deciding, giving feedback on them, and we are going to create at least 100 stories of women from our region. Now, we have discussed writing as a tool for women empowerment. We have written memoirs on our childhood memories, and then transformation story was one of the topics that you wrote memoirs for. And also we have written about the shame and guilt, and so that you would be familiar with how to include feelings into memoir writing. All those memoirs that you have submitted so far, they were hurdle tasks. So hurdling means it's actually a practice that prepares you for the real, let's say, a real challenge, right? So we have now finished our whole hurdle writing, and now we are in the point of starting to actually turn in professional works. And here I really need your voice and your opinions. Well, we have some topics that are planned by this workshop to be included in your memoirs. I don't want to make them final. I really want to, let's say, discuss them with you and then see what topics are of interest to you. What would you like to write? And what topics should we select? Sometimes you can incorporate more than one topic on one memoir, or maybe you have another topic in mind that would be a very good addition to our project. So some of the upcoming topics are life goals for a woman, and how would women's retirement look like? What regrets do you have? And letter to your younger self. Well, also disproportionate distribution of housework in the family, domestic abuse, effects of early marriage, women in media, and also how society makes women feel vulnerable and how society is dominated by males. Women in military, definition of female power, the concept of child-free, women who are refusing to be mothers, social roles redefined, and etc. So these are just some of the topics that we are suggesting. This is not the final list. We are going to discuss it with you, and with you together, we are going to select the final pieces, final themes that we would be concentrating around. Once we have developed some quality work, then all your works will be collected for a final portfolio of this project. All your digital blogs on wix.com will be collected, made one digital blog. And then after comments and feedback sessions, finally, by the end of this project, an ebook publication will take place, which will include all of the successful works of this project. So this is our brief outline of what we are going to do in our upcoming sessions. Now, I really want to discuss with you the topics. Last time you had lots of interest in the topic of women empowerment, how society tried to fit women into a box. Now, I really want to hear from you. What are the topics that you really want to write about? What are the topics that make sense to you? And what do you think? What topics can be really crucial in women empowerment in our countries? So I am eager to hear from you. Okay, Dilruba, would you like to please just suggest us any topics that you particularly want to write about? Or which topics from the list you like best, and which topics we should include in your mind?
Sure, they're all interesting and I think very important. I think the first I would go to would be unpaid work that women do at home.
Very good.
Yeah, we can talk about effects of early marriage. I feel like they're gonna be like a social critical essay rather than memoir. I don't know. The topic
Okay.
sounds like more of a societal like, but yeah, it can be looked from like a one person's perspective as well.
So
Could
are
you
there
go to
any?
the next slide?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, here I think social roles redefined is also.
Sounds interesting for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to suggest any themes, any topics that you think that are universal and of importance that you really want to hear different perspectives on it?
That's
As a woman, what are the challenges that you would like to have resolved, or what are the challenges that you think that should be given more attention?
I think what one thing we can do about all these issues is other mother how to raise our daughters and sons as well. So this women's inequality is not women's issue. It's created mostly by society, men plus women. So men should be engaged as well. So we can do that by raising our sons differently with different expectations and mindset. So generations to come would have different mentality regards to like respecting women and any expectations they set on them.
Very good ideas. And now the final question. How do you think writing memoir can help us to achieve what you are saying?
I feel like a memoir has a power of telling one person's story in a powerful way, showing the emotions, what were the effects. It's not like a statistics that three women made like a suicide or like something, but rather what happened, why happened, how happened. You see the clear picture and you kind of put yourself in the shoes of that woman, and that kind of affects and triggers some thinking in you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Your ideas are very straight to the point, really, and we really want to hear from Zabuna Salpa, I guess, right? Thank you, Durba. Okay, Ms. Zabuna, do you have any topics in mind that you think that we should have included in our list? Okay, I'm afraid she cannot hear us.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's really nice to
Can
hear
you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Sure.
Yes. Okay.
I think you are experiencing some connection problems, right? Could you hear our question?
All these topics that you mentioned. And no, I think I have some internet disconnection. My internet is not stable, I guess.
Okay,
Hello?
and we can hear you more clearly. Yes.
So what was the question? Sorry.
So we have discussed the topics, right? Upcoming topics that you will be writing memoirs for. And we have been asking, are there any topics that you would like to suggest for the final list? Are there any topics that are of particular interest to you and that you think that they really matter in women empowerment? Or which topics would you like to write about? Just any topics that you would like to suggest for the upcoming work.
Yes, from this list, from your list, if on the next page, previous page, that can you go back to the I saw the interesting topics like I did before, if you remember, about a letter to my younger self. Yeah, I would like to update it a little bit to put some more advice. I worked very hard on this topic. It's really, when I wrote it, I wish when I was younger, somebody advised me to do this or that. So I think that it was very useful when I share it to my girls, to my students, females. It was very beneficial, and I like this topic, and I think I will, for myself, I will edit it a little bit and add some more advice which I didn't did it before. And the topic about the number 3 also is very interesting to me. Maybe I will write my next memoir about it. Are my parents good parents? So I would like to write here, maybe suggestion. No, in everybody's life, mothers play a very important role. If the girl will get education or no, it depends from the mother. I have a story where my mother played a very important role for getting higher education. For example, my father was not, he was against of girls' education. He wasn't against, but his father, my grandfather, he had the old traditional thinking that the girl should stay at home and don't get access to education, that and he insisted my father to do the same with his girls. But my mother play a very important. She is educated. She did her best that her daughters get a higher education. She insisted my father. She how to say, he said to my father that he have to believe in us, or give her a chance to show that my girls will find their own way, find the north star, the north, and they will go
Good
on the right
metaphor.
way. And indeed, with the help of my mother, and I get a higher education. I successfully graduated the university with honor, and it affected because of me. I showed opened the way to my other two sisters to get education. So I was the opening. So
Role
everything
model.
depended on me, on my shoulders were a huge responsibility to finish the university. I would like to write a little bit here, but I maybe correct it a little, or maybe how to write that, how mothers
They influence, yes, the daughter's path of life, right?
it depends on the mothers, I think, because I see other stories, the woman who I met, they all said the same story, that everything we get, everything we have now, it's help to our mother.
Thank you so much, Stefano.
This is
Miss
maybe
Nargis, can I add
this is my
something as well?
Yes, please. Sure.
yes.
Sorry, I think we have already a lot of good topics, but I thought like maybe we could add something about female friendships, like a mentorship, like
A
a
very great
sisterhood, like
suggestion.
how women support
Mhm.
each other,
Mhm.
like emotionally, like professional development wise, and everything. Like how important to exchange
Yeah,
ideas.
definitely.
Important
And the other
advice
thing
from
I thought is
parents,
how
or
important
how
for women to be
the advice
financially.
of helped me, or
Yes.
something like this.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I can hear both of
The
you, right?
second point I was suggesting is how it's important for women to be financially and economically independent,
Exactly,
so
to
they
getting a
don't
pink
have
slip,
to
right?
like stay in abusive marriages and etc. So they can be
Right.
independent with their
Very
life.
good.
Something
Very
like
good.
that.
Thank you, Dilraba. And Zabunasopa was adding something, right? That's it? Well, okay. Thank you so much for your insight that you put into this discussion. Actually, you have suggested a very good topics, how to make women financially independent, or at least how to make them rethink of their financial conditions, because we know that independence starts from financial independence, right? If you cannot pay for your own basic needs, then you can never be independent. And just like the bonus opus suggested, and the Dilrabo put it into words, so women mentorship, women friendships can be a really empowering experience for women in our communities. Great. So based on your suggestions, and also I will send some polling to our Telegram group, and based on the votes, I will try to create the final list, but it's not something that frames you. So these are just basic guidelines where you should head towards, but it will not limit your creativity or your ideas for this upcoming memoirs. So I will make a list of final topics that we are going to write about, and one by one, every session, we will discuss one topic, see the sides of this topic, and analyze what kind of voice we can use, how can we make points that where we can show the story. So every session, we will discuss one topic, we will get background information about this topic, we will see what we can write about this topic, we will share our own experiences, get everyone motivated, and then we will start writing on this topic. And of course, as I have told you now, you will start posting every draft, every work you have on your Wix blogs. It's very easy to edit your work on Wix blog. So you have posted a draft this week, and upcoming week you can edit your work and repost it as an edited version. And I will visit and give feedback, leave my own feedback right on your blogs. That's going to be a very good experience. In the beginning, it can be a little bit difficult because it requires a bit digital skills to be computer and internet literate, but in the end, you will realize that it was worth it because you will learn the basics of how to become a digitally published writer. Now, thank you so much for your involvement in our today's session. And for the next session, I really want to have your stories, memoirs that we have assigned previous week to be ready. So we were writing about how is it to be a female in our community, right? Any stories of yours that answers to this question. So how is it to be a female? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel marginalized? Do you feel, let's say, judged? Do you feel um, left aside? So whatever feelings you had, whatever your experiences were, so we are writing a memoir on the topic of how is it to be a woman in our community. So I have received only some drafts, and I really hope that by next session, most of you will turn in your drafts, and I will really want to read your drafts through your Wix blogs. Today, some of you have already posted the links for your Wix blogs. Thanks for that. I see that some very good blogs are emerging. So you can feel free to use different styles, try different features, and I'm sure that at the end, you will have a professional digital place where you can meet your very first audience. Well, thank you for joining today. Actually, we keep working on the memoir about how is it to be a woman in our community? And I will be waiting for your drafts to be turned in so that we can discuss it. So I will send you the final list of the topics, and starting from next week, every session we will discuss one topic, analyze it critically, and then start working on it. If you have any questions or suggestions, you are welcome to do so. We're all set? Well, then have a very nice weekend ahead. It was really nice to talk with such empowered and empowering women who can make changes. And I can really see that your worldview can change your family, your close people, your sisters, daughters. It's great that it can change your close circles like friends, your let's say people that you are in a relationship with. And now I really hope that with this workshop, your energy and your empowering, let's say, experiences will help to shape others' experiences as well, so that it will transform the lives of many women that watch our sessions, that will read your works at the end of our project. Thank you for taking part in this hard job. Actually, it seems like for entertainment, but what you are doing here can be a real psychological support for some people that felt just like you in those moments, but not seeing the way how to overcome these problems. Thank you so much for joining, and we will meet next week. Have a nice weekend ahead.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take good care of yourselves.